we are discussing gas welding. So the flame that you want to have, because oxygen is coming, acetylene is coming, or any other fuel gas is coming, and how much should they mix, and what should be the type of flame which is a good flame to do the welding, right? This is very critical, and the practical welders learn this very soon. So there are these three types of flames. Flame types: neutral flame, oxidizing flame, carburizing or reducing flame. Neutral, of course, means that there is a good mix of the oxygen and the fuel gas, because the fuel gas will be providing the carbon, right? Because it is acetylene, carbon source, and so on. So there will be a large flame, outer envelope, and there will be a very small inner flame, inner cone. So just look at the temperature, 3000 to 3300 Celsius, huge temperature, right? At 1600 degrees, all steel will be completely molten, and even very high quality steels, specialty steels, will melt around 2000. So this temperature in the inner cone is more than 3000 Celsius. In the outer cone, here close to it, it is about 2000 Celsius. Away from it, it is about 1200 Celsius, but still a very high temperature. And this is neutral. There is a good, nice mix of oxygen and the other one. Oxidizing flame, there is more oxygen than should be there. There is more oxygen. So the inner cone is slightly larger and more pointed, and the outer cone is smaller, right? So the outer envelope is small and narrow, and the inner cone is more pointed. And carburizing, there is more burning gas than oxygen. So now there is a bright luminous inner cone, and there is a feather type of thing of acetylene, and there is a blue envelope outside. So if this is there, this will give you too much heat. Oxygen is more. This will give you too much heat, and rather than joining nicely, the plates may melt and not really join well. This one will not give you enough temperature, and there will be carbon inside. So this will start reacting with your metal and create problems. This neutral one is the one that we want. So when you adjust the controller from regulator from the oxygen side, from the acetylene side, and the speed, right? The people who do this, you have done welding in workshop, gas welding. So you adjust the controllers and the knobs, and you try to get a good neutral flame, right? So this is the first thing that you learn if you are going to be a welder. Then how to control the flame so that the flame is of a very good quality. Filler metals. We just told you that the oxyacetylene gas is there to burn. There is the base metal to melt, and there is a filler rod also, right? So this filler metal is used to supply additional metal to the weld zone, right? And because of this filler material, when it melts, it sorts of covers the welding area. You see, the welding, you have one plate and you have the other plate, they are butting against each other. So on the line that they join, you start welding on one line and move along the line. So a small portion of both the plates are melting, isn't it? There are two plates which are butting against each other, and you are trying to melt at the joint. So a little of the left side metal, a little of the right side metal, they are melting. Now there is a filler rod, and when this melts, it covers the molten region. So this covering is called the flux. Which happens because of the filler rod. So once the flux is there, one purpose is to retard or slow down the oxidation of the surfaces being welded. right? The two surfaces, the two butting plates, they are being melted. Now, when they are melted and the temperature is more than 2000, 2500 Celsius, then the oxygen of the air will start to react with it. So, if there is iron, iron oxide will be formed. If there is aluminum, aluminum oxide can be formed. So, this oxidation will create a new material which you did not design for, right? You selected a certain type of steel, you selected a certain type of titanium, you selected a certain type of aluminum. But now if oxidation happens, then another compound is formed there, which is not part of your original design. So now maybe the design is not good anymore. So if the weld zone can be covered by a flux, so this flux is like a cover, and now it is not allowing the oxygen of the air to react, right? So this is very important, that the purpose of the flux is generated after melting the filler metal, and this covers the weld zone, so retard or slow down the oxidation of the surfaces being welded. Second, to dissolve and remove any oxides to enhance the joints, to strengthen them, right? First thing, that it will try to reduce any oxygen coming inside, but whatever oxygen is already there and some oxidation has happened, so this flux will try to take those oxides and remove them, right? Whatever oxidation is there, that oxidation happens in the flux and it does not happen in the base metal. Okay, so these are two major uses or purposes of the flux. Slag is developed to protect the molten puddle of metal against oxidation as it cools. So now call it the flux, call it the slag. This, right, these two are sometimes used interchangeably. Technically there is a very narrow difference between them. So you can type welding flux, welding slag, and see what is the difference, right? Type on the internet and see. Slag, generally in casting also we use this and so on. Slag means the extra metal, the extra material that should be thrown away. So the two plates which are butting against each other, after the welding is complete, they will join completely, and where they are joining, there will be a new type of metal which is a mix of the two and so on, right? And it will be seen as a joint. But on the top of the joint, the flux is there. Later on it has dried down. You take a small hammer and you tap it. This flux covering will break. So now, because it breaks and this will be removed away and thrown away, so now this throwaway material is called slag, right? Slag. In casting also, remember, when we were doing casting in any type of furnace, then the pure metal settles down and it goes from one tap, and the other impurity metals and so on are floating at the top, and they are together called the slag, and the slag is removed, right? So in welding also, the extra material that is formed, which will be broken later on and removed, is the slag. So gas welding is now done, right? Gas welding is now done. This is another type of gas welding. That was oxy-fuel gas welding. This is pressure gas welding, right? So we are still using gas welding, but we are also applying pressure during welding, right? And this is not the pressure of the gas. The gas is already coming out with some pressure. It is not the pressure of the gas. It is something else, physical pressure. So if you see the schematic, if you see, this is before and this is after, right? Before and after. So you have the acetylene and the oxygen mixture, So this is the torch schematically, and you are trying to join this and this, right? So the flame heating of the surface and so on is there, and there is a clamp, right? There is a clamping system. So you are clamping, suppose these are two pipes and you are joining this pipe against this pipe, and it is a butt joint, right? This pipe is butting against the other pipe. So this is your torch and so forth, schematic, and you are heating it. As soon as you withdraw this, you will start applying pressure. So you are withdrawing the torch. It is still very hot. It is not completely molten anymore, but it is still very hot, and you are applying a lot of force. So now there are two things. One is the welding under the oxyacetylene flame, and there is this extra pressure, right? So now the joint is stronger than the normal joint, but right, stronger than the normal joint. So this is called pressure gas welding, pressure gas welding. But now some extra, right, when it pushes against this and pushes against this, then some portion goes out. So this extra portion, just like in forging and so on, is called flash, right? So note the formation of a flash at the joint, which can be later trimmed off. So later on we will do a small grinding operation or something here, and this extra flash will be removed. So this is called pressure gas welding. Now pressure gas welding is not common. Oxy-fuel gas welding, which is the most common, oxyacetylene, this is very, very common. Every normal welding shop is oxyacetylene. So there we showed you a little more detail. But this pressure gas welding is very specialized. Like here you are saying that when we want good pipe joints, so we are doing gas welding and we are applying pressure at the same time. So therefore we are not giving you what type of machine is there, what type of equipment is there and so on, but the schematic is there and you have an idea of what it is. I keep on repeating myself in different chapters that you see in a first introductory course on manufacturing processes, we want to cover as many basic manufacturing processes as we can. Some are still left, and then in all of these we go into the detail of some of the more common ones, and we very briefly cover in principle only some of the other ones which are important but not very commonly used, right? So the same here, pressure gas welding, this much introduction is enough. So gas welding is now done, right? Oxy-fuel gas welding, the most common is oxyacetylene. Pressure gas welding is also oxyacetylene but with applied pressure, mechanical pressure. And now the electric welding, rather than calling electric welding, some people call it, generally we call it arc welding, Now this arc is a portion of a circle, right? The circle is there, take any small portion of it, it is also called an arc. So that is one meaning of the arc. This arc is a totally different thing. And in arc welding, first we will take a subcategory, consumable electrode. Remember, consumable means it will be used up. There will be an electrode which will be used up. Later on in arc welding, there may be permanent electrode also. This means that. So if you, remember casting, for example, there was permanent mold and there was consumable mold, right? Expendable mold. So arc welding, first of all, is electric welding when we use electricity rather than gas. We will explain the word arc. And this arc welding is divided into two big categories. In some of them, the electrode that we are using to transfer the electricity to the welding location is consumable. That electrode will be consumed, used up, and then we will use another electrode and so on. And some other weldings which are arc welding, the electrode will be a permanent one. So arc welding was developed in the mid 1800s, right? So 150 years plus 170 years. So very old method. It is nothing very complicated. It means heat required is obtained through electrical energy, of course. Either consumable or non-consumable electrode, rod or wire is used. The arc is produced between the tip of the electrode and the parts to be welded using either AC alternating current or DC direct current power supplies. And there are several processes as were listed earlier and we showed you earlier, right? So this is the basic introduction to arc welding. Consumable or non-consumable electrode, right? Electrical energy is the basis. The current can be AC or DC, and there are different types which we will now cover.